Channel NITT viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. So this episode is actually inspired by a turn of events that happened quite recently. About 2 weeks ago, I tried recording using the camera which I am using now. So I am recording using this camera now. But 2 weeks ago, it was damaged. I tried recording, but I can only see pink and green vertical lines like barcodes appearing on the panel, and I couldn't record, so I have to send it for repair. So in the end, they said that it was a motherboard problem, so we got it changed and repaired. And when my camera came back, then it was the laptop's turn to be spoiled. So the laptop is still undergoing repair now. I do not know what the problem with it is because it is not diagnosed yet. At the same time, my smartphone is also acting up. So when I'm outside, I cannot access the internet. I do not know why also. So they say that when bad things happen, they just happen in a row. So I've actually experienced this kind of phenomenon quite a lot of times. And this is only one of the times, and it's causing me to be a little bit frustrated, depressed probably. Because many people also have this experience of bad things happening to them in a row, and they believe it, and when it gets transmitted from person to person, then the entire community may actually start to believe it, and when it happens to them, they might actually confirm it using confirmation bias. So it is possible that the phenomenon that bad things happen all at once or one after another is just a trick that our mind plays on us.
When we finish trick or treat, it's time to eat our sweets.
However, a lot of people won't buy that. They actually really believe in it. Many people may even come up with explanations for it. So astrologers will say that this is because of Mercury retrograde.
You may have heard that Mercury is retrograde again, but if you try to find out...
If you have not heard of that, never mind. I am going to introduce to you a psychological term, and this term is called apophenia. So apophenia is the tendency for us to mistakenly associate unrelated things together. In one of our previous episodes titled Superstitions, we have already explained a type of apophenia known as the illusory correlation. So there are many types of apophenias. The illusory correlation is only one of them. Another common apophenia is the pareidolia. Another type of paraphenia is the pareidolia. Pareidolia.
Known as pareidolia.
Happens when we human beings perceive sounds or images coming from inanimate objects. So for example, we may be able to see a rabbit or a man if we look at the moon. That is actually an example of
pareidolia.
So if I say that I can see a dog in the moon right now, look, come look, and you try to see. If you try hard enough, you can also see a dog because you want to see a dog and you choose to find a dog. So similarly, if we want to associate all the unfortunate events coming in a sequence, we surely can identify a lot of unfortunate events along the way. Apophenia is actually seen as an early stage of delusional thought and could be an indication of an early stage of schizophrenia. So if a person seems to tell you that he is seeing this thing or that thing quite often, then it is possible that this person is having the onset or the beginning stage of schizophrenia. So be mindful of that. Just now we have already talked about
pareidolia,
a type of apophenia. So I use the example of the ability to see a rabbit or dog when you are looking on the moon. They say that actually if you use psychedelic drugs, you can actually have a higher tendency to be able to see a dog or a rabbit or whatever that you want to see. So what this means is that apophenia is very likely to be related to psychotic illnesses. Luckily for most of us, when we encounter unfortunate events, we do not indulge in it so much that we become psychotic. Most of the time, we know that this unfortunate phase will just pass. So for me, I choose to maintain optimism. So given that 3 electronic devices have failed me at the same time, I treat it as a sign that I may have to cut myself from social media for a short while to detox and to rest.
This tale is all sorrows and woes.
So we are all in a very difficult period right now. I do hope that all of you always maintain optimism. So even though I am a psychologist by profession and there is a psychological explanation for this phenomenon of believing that bad things happen in a row, I still choose to not side with psychology this time. The belief that unfortunate events happen in a row is illogical, and there is a logical explanation for it given by psychologists, and that is called apophenia. However, as an ENTJ, sometimes I do not always side with logic, although I really like logic. This time, for this explanation, I tend to side with spirituality. So I believe that this is a message from the spirits to me.
God is watching.
And that is how I remain optimistic. I understand that this is a very trying period for all of us. I hope that my viewers can remain optimistic as well. Things will always change for the better, if you believe in it. So as I was saying, the laptop that I use for my editing is damaged and it is not back yet, but I still keep on recording the videos. I hope that I will be able to edit in time to release and upload good videos for you. And if you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can continue to add value to you. Meanwhile, it's our promise to keep producing videos and releasing it on every other day. Thank you very much for being with us, and I'll see you again in my next episode. Goodbye!